The inheritance. Rain lashed against the windows of the old Victorian house, mimicking the frantic beat of Thomas's heart. He stood before a dusty easel, a velvet cloth draped over its canvas like a shroud. This was it. The inheritance. His great-aunt Edith, a recluse whispered to be touched by madness, had left him the house and its contents. Her only stipulation, the covered easel, was not to be touched until he'd spent a full week within the home. 6 days of shadows and creaking floorboards had brought him to this moment, a morbid curiosity battling with gnawing dread. He reached out, the air growing thick, charged with an unseen energy. As his fingers brushed the velvet, a low, guttural growl echoed through the room. Thomas whipped around, heart hammering against his ribs, but the source of the sound was nowhere to be found. Ignoring the tremor in his hand, he gripped the cloth and pulled. Easel groaned, protesting as much as the canvas it held captive. When the image was finally revealed, Thomas staggered back, breath catching in his throat. It was a portrait, though not of the stately kind befitting a house of this age. It depicted a grotesque figure, a mangled parody of a human form. Its skin was stretched taut over bones that protruded at unnatural angles. The flesh a sickly yellow, marred with festering sores. 2 eyes, barely discernible beneath matted clumps of hair, stared out from the canvas with a malevolence that stole the air from Thomas's lung. The growl reverberated again, louder this time, and the stench of decay filled the room, clinging to the back of Thomas's throat. He tore his gaze from the monstrous visage, feeling an inexplicable pull towards the basement door at the back of the room. He knew, with a certainty that chilled him to his core, that the creature in the painting wasn't merely a figment of his great-aunt's fractured mind. It was real, and it was waiting for him below. Drawn by an unseen force, Thomas descended the creaking wooden steps into the darkness. The air grew heavy, thick with the cloying scent of damp earth and something else, something far more sinister. Each step was an agonizing decision. Fear, a living thing within him, urging him to turn back. The bottom of the stairs, a single flickering bulb, cast long, grotesque shadows that danced with the flickering light. And there, in the center of the room, lay a canvas bag, its rough surface stained dark. The growl came again, a guttural rasp that seemed to vibrate in Thomas's very bones. Hesitantly, he inched towards the bag, his hand trembling as he untied the cord that bound it. Inside, nestled amongst straw and something dry and brittle that crunched under his touch, lay a human skull. Its empty sockets seemed to stare up at him, and in those vacant depths, Thomas saw the truth reflected back. His inheritance wasn't the house, nor the portrait. It was the hunger, the monstrous need that pulsed within him now, urging him to add to the macabre collection. The growling in the basement wasn't coming from some unseen monster. It was coming from within him, echoing the truth of the creature he was destined to become. The end.